The ground hums. It is the first sound of the morning. A deep and resonant vibration that travels through the soles of the clan's feet and up into their bones. It is the sound of safety. It is the sound of long-neck. The juvenile Brachiosaurus moves through the fern-choked clearing, its great head a gentle wrecking ball swaying high above the canopy. The children of the sky-spear clan follow in its wake, their laughter like chipping flint as they gather the sweet, exposed roots upturned by the creature's passage. They are a small tribe of early humans, and this giant is their world's anchor. Its presence deters the hunting packs of dinosaurs, and its colossal form is a moving landmark, a guarantee that they are not lost. For the clan, this is the rhythm of prehistoric life, a fragile piece bought by proximity to a living mountain of flesh. Elara watches from the mouth of the cave, her hands still. She cannot speak, has never made a sound, but her eyes follow the creature's every slow, deliberate movement. She sees not a beast, but a presence, a quiet guardian, the clan elder. Kael nods, his face a mask of deeply etched lines. This symbiosis is his life's work, a delicate truce in a world that offers none. He knows their existence as an anomaly, a whisper of hominid history that could be erased between one sunrise and the next. The hum stops. It is so sudden that the children's laughter dies in their throats. All heads turn. Long-neck is frozen. Its head, 100 feet in the air, pointed toward the dense cycad forest to the north. A low hiss, like steam escaping a fissure in the earth, cuts through the stillness. Then, the trees splinter. Out of the gloom erupts a nightmare of teeth and muscle. A Giganotosaurus, larger and leaner than a Tyrannosaurus, its hide a tapestry of ancient scars. It moves with a predatory grace that belies its size. The clan scatters, melting back into the rock fissures they call home. Their fear are cold, sharp stone in their bellies. They can only watch. Long-neck bellows, a sound of pure terror that echoes across the valley. A plea to a sky that offers no salvation. The Giganotosaurus is a storm of calculated violence. It lunges not at the massive legs, but at the throat, its serrated teeth, each the size of a man's forearm, finding their mark. The great Brachiosaurus crashes down, its fall shaking the very foundations of the cliffs. The earth that once hummed with its life now shudders with its death. The attacker tears up the flesh. Its feast a brutal, bloody spectacle. When it is done, it raises its gore-slicked head, gives a guttural roar of dominance, and melts back into the forest. The silence that descends is heavier than any stone. The children do not cry, they stare, their faces blank with a horror too vast to process. The hunters grip their spears, the polished bone and flint utterly useless. Kael looks at the carnage, at the unmoving mountain of flesh, and a Hominid seems to carve itself behind his eyes. The clan is not just mourning a creature, they are mourning the death of the sound that told them they were safe. The world is suddenly quiet, and in that quiet, they hear only the promise of their own extinction. Days pass, but the silence holds. The clan huddles in the cave, their world shrunken to a perimeter of fear. The hunters make short, desperate forays for food, their movements furtive, their eyes scanning the tree line where the Giganotosaurus disappeared. The children no longer play. The hum of the world is gone, replaced by a listening dread. The clan grieves the loss of their shield, a practical and devastating blow to their survival. But Elara's grief is different. It is a shard of flint lodged deep within her chest, a silent, personal wound. She sees not the loss of a strategy, but the loss of a soul. While the others look out at the valley with fear, she looks inward at an image burned behind her eyes, the long, graceful curve of a neck, the soft, patient eye the size of a melon. One night, as the others sleep fitfully around the low-burning fire, she moves. The impulse is not born of thought, but of an unbearable pressure. The memory of long-neck is a ghost trapped inside her, and it needs a way out. She takes a blackened stick from the edge of the fire pit, a piece of dead wood, cold and bitter. In her other hand, she takes a torch, its flame a sputtering, precious resource. She does not look back. She walks away from the firelight, away from the sleeping bodies of her kin, and into the deeper blackness of the cave system, a place reserved for emergencies and sacred fears. The air grows cold and still. The only sound is the wet slap of her bare feet on the stone and the hiss of the torch. She follows the twisting passage deeper into the belly of the earth, her shadow a monstrous, dancing partner. Finally, she finds it a vast, smooth wall of limestone, untouched by water or moss, a blank canvas in the heart of the mountain. This is a moment that no record of hominid history could predict, a silent leap into the unknown. The study of anthropology would one day give this act a name art, but for now, it was a fever. Lifting the torch to illuminate the stone, she raises the charcoal. Her hand trembles. The first mark is a hesitant, jagged smear of black. It is nothing. But then, she closes her eyes, summons the ghost, and her hand begins to move with a new certainty. She doesn't draw a creature. She traces an absence. The long, impossible arc of the neck sweeps upward, higher and higher. A line of memory reaching for a ceiling she cannot see. She scrapes the charcoal over the rough surface to form the bulk of the body, a great, dark continent of loss. She uses her fingers to smudge the dust, softening the line of the back, remembering its gentleness. The work is hard, physical. Horror makes. The torch sputters, threatening to plunge her into absolute darkness. But she works on, possessed by the act, by this strange and powerful new magic. When she draws the eye, a simple circle with a dark smudge in the center, she stops. In the flickering light, the eye seems to watch her. It is not long minus neck, but its ghost on the stone, and it is enough. A young hunter, Elara, sent by Kael to bring her back, finds her there. He sees the wasted torch, the woman covered in black dust, and the monstrous shadow on the wall. He sees madness. He sees a dark summoning. He turns and flees, not from her, but from the ghost she has awakened in the rock. Boar's return is a stumbling, breathless affair. He bursts into the firelight, his eyes wide with a primal terror that silences the clan's low murmurs. He points back into the darkness. His words a torrent of disjointed sounds and frantic gestures. Darkness, shadow, wrongness. The other hunters rise, gripping their spears. Their interpretation is immediate and instinctual. In a world where every shadow can hide a predator, the unknown is synonymous with death. They believe Elara, in her silent strangeness, has brought a curse into their midst, a dark spirit drawn from the rock. They see her act not as creation, but as a violation, a dangerous dalliance with forces that should be left sleeping in the deep earth. The wasted torch, the solitary ritual, it is a betrayal of the clan's first rule: everything is for the group, nothing is for the self. Kael listens, his gaze fixed on the fear in Elara's face. The clan is a tinderbox, and this is the spark. They are a fragile community of early humans, and their only real strength is their unity. A schism now would be a death sentence. The hunters speak of casting Elara out, of leaving her to the mercy of the night. It is a hard choice, the kind that has ensured their survival for generations, the needs of the many outweighing the life of the one who threatens them. But Kael sees something else in Boar's terror. He sees not just fear, but confusion. This is a new kind of threat, one that cannot be met with a sharpened stone. He silences the growing clamor with a raised hand. He takes a fresh torch, its resin minus soaked head promising a long, steady flame, and walks toward the inner passage. He will see this ghost for himself. The clan watches him go, their fear holding them in place. Kael moves through the suffocating blackness, following the faint scent of smoke in the path of Elara's footprints. He finds her slumped at the base of the limestone wall, asleep from emotional and physical exhaustion, her face and arms streaked with black. And then he raises his torch. The light washes over the wall, and Kael stops. His breath catches in his throat. It is not a monster. It is not a demon. It is long minus neck. His mind, accustomed to seeing threats and opportunities, struggles for a moment to process what he is seeing. It is an image, a likeness, a shadow made permanent, in the tortuous and steady dance. The great creature seems to breathe. The long, elegant neck seems to sway. He steps closer, his rough fingers tracing the charcoal line of the massive flank. He feels the cold, dead stone, but he sees the warm, living memory. He understands. This is not a curse. This is a refusal. A refusal to let long minus neck vanish completely. It is a way to hold on to what was lost, to give grief a shape. He looks at the drawing, then at the sleeping woman, and realizes he is looking at the invention of one of the most powerful ancient tools the clan will ever possess, a tool not for the hand, but for the heart, a weapon against the forgetting. He gently rouses Elara and leads her back toward the light. When they emerge, the clan sees not a madwoman being brought to judgment, but their elder guiding a spent creator. Kael does not speak. He simply turns and points with his torch toward the darkness from which they came. His gesture is clear. The ghost in the cave is not a threat. It is a story. It is the beginning of them. The image on the stone changes everything. It becomes the clan's anchor, the first page of a history that had, until now, been written only in memory and blood. The children are brought to see it, to touch the cool stone and learn the shape of the guardian they lost. The hunters see it and remember not just the loss, but the peace that came before, strengthening their resolve to reclaim it. The drawing is not magic, but it performs a kind of magic nonetheless. It solidifies a collective memory, transforming a shared trauma into a foundation of their identity on the grand, sprawling timeline of human evolution. This is an inflection point. The moment our ancestors learned that survival wasn't just about finding the next meal or escaping the next predator. It was also about finding a way to make sense of the void, to hold a memory against the crushing, indifferent weight of prehistory. How many of our stories, our songs, our gods, began this way? Not with a grand plan, but with the simple, desperate human need to answer an unbearable silence with a mark that says, "We were here, we remember." This is how we learn it to survive the monsters, not by always winning the fight, but by ensuring that those we lost were never truly gone. In the north, a different clan sharpens a different kind of stone.